Hello there, wondrous beasts of the internet. Brennan Valentine, the pretentious Fiend here, and as long as you have not been living under a rock, you would have definitely heard about the Harry Styles Vogue cover photo shoot, in which he is simply just in a dress. Some cool shit. He's looking awesome, killing it. Great. But what I'm here to talk to you about today is the absurdity of the debate and reactions around this. This really came to a head when right-wing commentators like Ben Shapiro and Candice Owens took a pretty strong and really bizarrely conspiratorial stance against it. Manly men are going away and they're teaching Marxist to the... Whenever people talk about a man's place in society, they go to this bizarre caricature of stoicism, honor, and discipline, and well, the stark reality of this is that it actually doesn't mean anything, simply because these ideals and these rules can be absolutely twisted to serve the agenda of whoever's saying them. This prevailing idea within conservative culture that men acting slightly more effeminate, slightly, is an attack on men and masculinity as entirety is just insane. It just reeks of this conspiratorial, self-centered lunacy where you have people saying, oh no, the Marxists are gonna take away our penises and feminism is an Islamic conspiracy to neuter Western men. Just why? Why does anyone give a fuck about what cut of material you choose to wrap your corpulent bodice in? And furthermore, I feel like everyone that's criticizing this shoot in terms of it destroying masculinity, it's taking away everything from men, I miss the entire point of the photo shoot. The real message of the photo shoot is you can still be a man, a cis man, a cocked one, and that you can visually express yourself in different ways compared to the rigid set forth standards that you had nothing to do with their creation, so why would they apply to you? And you know what? More men could absolutely do with that. Heck yeah, go for it. Clearly I look like a biased opinion in this. Nowhere within this photo shoot is anyone actually saying men can't be men. It's just extending the range of what it could mean to be a man. It's just a slight deviation from that norm. It is so slight. And not to be egotistical, which every YouTuber is, and talk about myself, I'm a man. I'm a cis guy who likes being loud, obnoxious, I like drinking, I like rare steak, I watch and participate in MMA and boxing and fighting. I go to the gym, I work out, sundrily lifting the heavy thing and putting it back down where it belongs. And I'm pretty stoked on having a penis. Hell, I was a mechanic. Wrap your head around that. But why would that in any way, shape or form mean I can't dress like this, that I couldn't wear makeup, that I can't have epically glorious and luscious long hair that so many people would think is a normal signifier of femininity? The kind of sad thing about all of this is what these things have in common. They're all forms of expression, and it's just day in, day out you are told, do not express. Do not express anything besides the two C's, content and contempt. Are we worried that masculinity as an entirety, that testosterone is just going to be flung away from our society and never again will anyone ever fight? Because that's not gonna happen. Men aren't going anywhere. And straight up, to be honest, as a guy who likes to dress very elaborately, I can tell you, men's fashion fucking sucks. Try going shopping as a guy who likes to dress elaborately. You will run into trouble, my guy. You will run into a sea of neutral colors which say nothing. Overarching theme I see within men's fashion is always to state nothing. It is to state as little as possible, which is really kind of sad. No one on the left is saying men can't exist. No one is saying you can't enjoy having a penis. No one is saying that you can't defend your family. No one is saying you can't be honorable. No one is saying any of this shit. The actual discourse that's going on is much more about finding harmful and vicious traits that we as a gender, as men, are being instilled within society, and seeing if they are actually valuable or if they're harmful. Inability to emote, our inability to express, our tendencies to violence. And in Ben Shapiro's response to this all, he says one of the underlying messages here is that men have to act more like women, which is really just not true. It's a fashion shoot, Ben. The underlying message here is that there are more options for visual expression to men than just what you buy at fucking Target. And look, the shoot is not without its criticism. I mean, my biggest critique of it is the powers that be, Vogue, his PR team, all knew. They knew exactly what was going to happen. And they knew that it was going to inflame right-wing commentators. They knew which hashtags they were already going to use. Similarly to when Tess Holliday was on the cover of Cosmo, they knew that this was going to become a talking point. They knew this was going to be great press. As I said before, wearing a dress is not radically revolutionary in kind of any way. People like Marilyn Manson, David Bowie, Kurt Cobain, it's been done. And I've seen some criticism that I can understand, that it's a little bit tokenistic in the way that it can look a bit like it's trying to cash in on the trans and NB world without actually being that person, as far as I know. I get really fucked up about any sort of idea that this in any way denotes weakness, either emotional or physical. You could be the most masculine man in every single way. You could be a 6'5" behemoth muscled beast who could kick the shit out of anyone. You can still be a person who analyzes the toxic parts of your behavior. And you could walk around in a beautiful floral robe, and who the fuck is to say that has anything to do with who you are as a man? What, because you're indulging in what some people in Western society, not all, some people call a female signifier. And that's one of the big critiques I have of Ben Shapiro's fucking take on this, is that he says, in the West, that skirt means a woman. To you, Ben. We live in a multiculturalist society, and so inherently there are different cultures that have different signifiers. Men should be absolutely encouraged to express themselves, and if inside you say I am a hardcore masculine dude who wants to identify with that, and I want to grow a beard, put on a flannel, wear some fucking dad jeans, and go cut down a tree, you go do that. But you shouldn't do that simply because a group of insecure people who quiver in the face of change tell you that's what you should do. And so there's nothing saying that you can't be a lumberjack with eyeliner if that made you feel good, or if it made you feel attractive, or if you looked in the mirror and you were proud in the image you saw back. And as a fun little side note, don't you think it's fucking interesting that whenever someone talks about masculine ideals and what that means in society, they just describe themselves? That's some insecurity masking at fucking play, people. Brandon Valentine, the pretentious fiend here. Express yourself however you fucking feel. Don't roll up your newspaper and hit your dog. Hot take, PSA, don't fuck up your pets.